Okay. Let's get things going here. How's everybody? All good? Super good. Okay, week 11. Week number 11. We're getting close. So in terms of content, we just have this week and next week in terms of new content. Okay? In 3 weeks, we have our final. And in 4 weeks, is that right? No. Next week is the last week of content. In 2 weeks, we have our final. And then in 3 weeks, we have our final day, which is the presentation. Okay? I sent a video this week, just recapping what we have discussed about assignments, about timelines, about groups. So if you don't have a group, make sure that you join a group. Okay? So again, don't wait for me to take your hand and join you with a group. Okay? So again, take care of that. Okay? So today, week 11, what is it that you're going to be doing? You're going to be doing deployments. You're going to be going live. You're going to be launching your systems. You're going to be living today here, having a URL that you can share, maybe in a job interview, maybe in your portfolio. Okay? So you're going to be publishing live your applications. Deployment. So with that said, again, what is it that you expect from this class today? I guess that's go live, deployment. Yeah, someone else can see what you're doing, without you having to carry your laptop and show the screen there. You can just send them a link to your site. Okay, so that's the goal today.
Can you teach us how to connect to Oracle database?
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I'm quite sure that there is a library to connect that. The way we connect using SQL, there must be something with Oracle as well, but I'm not that familiar with that.
There is an extension you have to download.
Yeah.
Which is a little more complicated.
I'm sure that it's a little bit more complicated. Again, SQL Server is native to Microsoft, so it becomes easier to connect with Microsoft tools. Oracle, I've used Oracle a lot, but in a very, very long time ago in a far, far away galaxy.
The Oracle is not used anymore?
No, it is. It is. I'm just saying that I used a long time ago.
Which one are you using?
Right now, SQL. SQL, yeah, SQL Server. Microsoft, yeah. So I'm very Microsoft. I have been always Microsoft fanboy. Let's put it this way. So, but again, Oracle I have used quite a bit, but it has been many years without using it. So I guess that you have projects with Oracle. Is that from other courses? Is that?
Yeah, this is that teacher's founder. That teacher asked us to use Oracle to connect C# or other language backends, but we don't know how to connect.
Yeah.
He didn't know either. He asked us to search on internet.
Okay. Okay, that's a good project.
Yes. You by yourself. Use Google. That's it.
So in terms of Oracle, do they make Oracle available from the college? I mean, how do you connect to Oracle?
It's remote.
It's a remote,
yeah.
So there is an instance there that students can use? Is that how it works?
Yeah, we can just get a connect string.
Got it.
So you got a connect string, we can connect it. But we have to know how to write the connect string.
I get it. In Oracle, where is Oracle hosted? Is that within the college? Oracle is hosted here in the premises? And then you are able to connect to it? Is that?
Yeah. It's a remote URL.
Got it. Okay. I wish all the best. Okay, so not Oracle, but you're going to see that it's not that simple to do the stuff that we're going to be doing today. Actually, we might be finding a few hiccups. It's not that straightforward. It takes time. Anyway, today we're going to be creating 2 databases on Azure. So you're going to be using Azure. Who knows what is Azure? Azure, Azure, however you want to spell it out to pronounce it. Go ahead.
I know it, and also AWS.
AWS. So AWS and in Azure, what are they? They are competitors. They are enemies. Okay? So pretty much what you have in one, you have in the other one. Different tool sets, but both can do a lot. Okay? So I don't know which one is bigger than the other one. I think it's Azure at this point, but I'm not sure. But I'm a bit more comfortable with Azure. By the way, I'm not a specialist in Azure. So we might be facing issues here that I'm not going to be able to address. But hopefully you're going to get through it. Okay? So we're going to be creating 2 databases. We're going to be creating our product database for Sports Store in the identity database. So 2 databases on Azure. And we're going to be deploying our Sports Store application to it. So we're going to be creating databases and deploying our application there. Okay? So today it will be really a step-by-step thing here. So I'm going to do it here. If you want to try as we go along, you can. We're going to have time for you to try it on your own. If you want to make some notes because there are a lot of steps. I don't have a video of this put together, but the recording, I'll make the recording available tomorrow morning or tonight because there is a bonus 10, depends on that. And actually, hopefully, bonus 10 you can get out of here today having it done. That's the goal here. Bonus 10 will be done tonight. And I think that's our last bonus, if I'm mistaken. Okay, so that's our goal. See our objectives, create database, deploy application. This is covered in the second half of chapter 12, deployment. Okay. We're not going to be doing a lot of coding. We're going to be doing a lot of configuration. Okay, so today it's really about configuration, about following the steps. Again, make your notes there. The video will be available later, but make your notes because there will be a lot of steps here. Okay, a lot of steps here to get things live. So Azure. I heard a few comments about what Azure is. Let's have a look at this video. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but we're going to go through a good chunk to give us a better idea of what Azure is, what it's not.
One of the fastest growing and second largest cloud platform in the market right now. I'm talking about Microsoft Azure. Now, before we begin, let's talk about what we'll be covering in this video.
Is the volume okay?
Learn, and today we'll be talking about one of the fastest growing and second largest cloud computing platform in the market right now. I'm talking about Microsoft Azure. Now, before we begin, let's talk about what we'll be covering in this video. First, we'll talk about why you should be interested in cloud computing, what exactly is cloud computing, what is Microsoft Azure, some of its services, and the users of Azure. Now, let's start with why you should be interested in cloud computing. Now, let's say you have an idea for a revolutionary application. An idea that ticks both the boxes when it comes to good applications. One, it has great user experience. And two, it will be highly profitable. Now for it to be successful, you'll have to release it on the internet. People need to use it, they need to spread the word, and then it will become truly famous. However, for that, you're going to need servers, storage, developers, a dedicated network, and application security to ensure your application works the way it does. Now these are a lot of components. And that's where the problem lies. There are two major disadvantages to this approach. The initial setup is very expensive and risky, which means this requires a huge amount of capital upfront to ensure that it works properly. And the downside is, if your application does not become famous or it doesn't return as much as you expect it to, you're probably not going to get the money back, which means it provides a huge amount of risk. And then on the flip side, if it does become famous, your number of users have increased, which means that you will have to buy more servers and storage systems to keep up with your demand. And this problem can be solved with the help of cloud computing. Now that you know why you should be interested in cloud computing, let's go into the details of what exactly is cloud computing. Now, cloud computing is basically a platform that gives you access to a number of computing resources. And this is possible with the help of the internet. Now, as a user, all you need to do is go to a cloud service provider through your laptop or your computer, through the internet, of course, connect to that cloud service provider, and then there you go. You have access to computing resources. Now, computing resources may include, serverless computing, virtual machines, storage, and so much more. Now, let's dig a little deeper. Now, basically, these cloud service providers actually have massive data centers. Now, in these data centers, what you have are hundreds of servers. Also included are storage systems and mainly several organizations' critical components. So these are very secure, safe locations where a large amount of data is stored, hence the name data centers. Now, it is to these data centers that users actually connect to collect their data or use it. So actually, users can access any service based on their requirement. Now, like I told you, there's a number of services the user can use. For example, now if you want a notification every time someone sends you a message, or perhaps once you get an email, you need a copy of it created. Now, for all of this, there are services. And most importantly, almost every cloud service provider has this option where users only pay for the service that they use. So there's no charge upfront where they tell you that you need to pay X amount of money so that you can use our services. You're only paying for the amount of time that you're using these services. Now, cloud computing is used for a wide variety of reasons. Firstly, there's machine learning and data analysis. Now, basically, there are services that analyze your data and tell you how you can work with this data better. Then there's data storage and backup, streaming media content. For example, did you know that the shows that you watch on Netflix, actually all of them are in the cloud. So you're connected to the internet and you browse through Netflix and you get access to the videos. These are possible with the help of cloud service providers. There's creating and testing applications, automating software delivery, which is a component in DevOps, and hosting blogs and applications. So now, what is Azure? What's the big cloud service provider all about? So Azure is a cloud computing platform provided by Microsoft. Now, it's basically an online portal through which you can access and manage resources and services. Now, resources and services are nothing but, you can store your data and you can transform the data using services that Microsoft provides. Again, all you need is the internet and being able to connect to the Azure portal. Then you get access to all of their resources and their services. In case you want to know more about how it's different from its rival, which is AWS, I suggest you click on the top right corner and watch the AWS versus Azure video so that you can clearly tell how both these cloud service providers are different from each other. Now, here are some things that you need to know about Azure. It was launched in February 1st, 2010, which is significantly later than when AWS was launched. It's free to start and has a pay-per-use model, which means, like I said before, you need to pay for the services you use through Azure. And one of the most important selling points is that 80% of Fortune 500 companies use Azure services, which means that most of the bigger companies of the world actually recommend using Azure. And then Azure supports a wide variety of programming languages, the C#, Node.js, Java, and so much more. Another very important selling point of Azure is the amount of data centers it has across the world. Now, it's important for a cloud service provider to have many data centers around the world because it means that they can provide their services to a wider audience. Now, Azure has 42, which is more than any cloud service provider has at the moment. It expects to have 12 more in a period of time, which brings its total number of regions it covers to 54. Now, let's talk about Azure services. Now, Azure services have 18 categories and more than 200 services. So, we clearly can't go through all of them. It has services that cover compute, AI and machine learning, integration, management tools, identity, DevOps, web, and so much more. You're going to have a hard time trying to find a domain that Azure doesn't cover. And if it doesn't cover it now, you can be certain they're working on it as we speak. So first, let's start with the compute services. First, virtual machine. With this service, what you're getting to do is to create a virtual machine of Linux or Windows operating system. It's easily configurable. You can add RAM, you can decrease RAM, you can add storage, remove it. All of it is possible in a matter of seconds. Now let's talk about the second service, cloud service. Now with this, you can create an application within the cloud, and all of the work after you deploy it, deploying the application that is taken care of by Azure, which includes provisioning the application, load balancing, ensuring that the application is in good health, and all of the other things are handled by Azure. Next up, let's talk about Service Fabric. Now with Service Fabric, the process of developing a microservice is greatly simplified. So you might be wondering, what exactly is a microservice? Now a microservice is basically an application that consists of smaller applications coupled together. Next up, functions. Now with functions, you can create applications in any programming language that you want. Another very important part is that you don't have to worry about any hardware components. You don't have to worry what RAM you require or how much storage you require. All of that is taken care of by Azure. All you need is to provide the code to Azure and it will execute it, and you don't have to worry about anything else. Now let's talk about some networking services. First up, we have...
Okay, I think it's enough. You see that it has a lot of services on Azure. We're not going to go through one by one because it will talk about network. It goes beyond of what we want, but this is just to give you an overview of what is available there in Azure. And again, we're going to be having a look at that ourselves. So, as I said, it will be really step-by-step here. Now, this is correct today, what I'm going to show, but things will change with Azure. So maybe in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months, things will look a little bit different, but the main process most likely will remain the same for a little while. So first, you need to have an Azure account. Okay, you can use your Centennial email address to, if you have created one already in the past, to do something there. You may still have yours, but if you don't have, you're going to have a free trial. I think it's of 30 days, and they provide $250 to be used against the services. So you're going to have a free, you're going to be able to write it, to use it for free. If you have created an account in the past and you try to log in with that account, maybe your account has already expired the free stuff. So you may want to create a brand new account. You can create a brand new account. You can just create by using, when you're going to sign up, you can use outlook.com, create a brand new account, and then you're going to get free credits to be used against it. I have created an account already. I'm not going to walk you through how to create an account on a website because this is it, how to create an account. You're going to enter your details, and you're going to create the account. Now, I'm going to start from the point that now you have an account, and you're going to need to do some setup, okay? Which is the next one here. Okay, so just to recap, we have a sports store which has 2 databases, the product database and the identity database. We're gonna use as a reference point the source codes available on Centennial under source codes, sports store 12. Scroll all the way down, you can go to this part 9. Part 9 here, the difference between part 9 and part 8 is because part 9, I'm demonstrating how to create user roles, how to create more than one user. So if you run part 9, make sure that you check the identity seed class to see the usernames and passwords that are available for you to log in by using this code here, okay? The other aspect that I want you to keep in mind is that if you download this, if you don't have the identity database created yet in your local environment, you're going to need to run the update script, the update database command line to be able to create your identity. But again, for now, actually going to be doing that on Azure directly. So as we go through, we're going to be having our 2 databases on Azure instead of having them locally. But again, this is the source code file that you're going to be using as a reference point.
You need to type credit card information?
We may, See, yesterday when we went through, some people said that they didn't have to, some people said that they had to, I had to. Now, they don't charge, it's just for validation purpose.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is that once you are done with the class, maybe in 2 days after you share, because I'm gonna ask you to share your URL, go back and delete all the resources that you have created. You don't want a charge to show up at some point in the future because you left something there. And so again, that's what I'm doing. Every day that I'm doing these lessons, I get rid of everything that I have created there, just so there's nothing to be charged on my credit cards, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna use that as a starting point. I'm gonna open that code. Actually, let me see if we need to. I don't think that we need right away. No, we don't. So let's start with that. Let's go on Azure. I'm gonna go here, and let's create the 2 databases. Again, either you are doing that now or just pay attention here, but I'm gonna ask you at some point today, after I'm done, to do that yourselves with the sports store, okay? So I'm gonna go to Azure. Once you have your account on Azure, you can just go to portal.azure.com. So I'm just gonna go over there. So I have a few accounts with that are related to Microsoft. So I'm gonna go with this one here that I created just for the purpose of demonstrating this. Okay, so the interface on Azure, it can be a little bit intimidating. It has too many options. But let's think through this. What is it that we want to do? We want to create 2 databases. Where do you think that we should go there in this interface? Let's go to the SQL database. Let's go to this option here to create our databases, okay? So there are no databases yet. I'm going to create the first one here. I'm going to click on Add. And now, again, this type of thing you're going to see that you will need to go through as well. First, it will ask you for the subscription. I'm using my free trial subscription. Again, that's what you should be using as well. Important is this resource group. Right now, because I have deleted everything that I had before, in your case, because it's the first time that you come in, you don't have a resource group. So you have to create one. What is a resource group? It's just a way that Azure groups different resources that you are creating. Just give it a name. See, drop-down has, well, actually, this might have been something that I created before. Anyway, I'm going to ignore this. I'm going to click on Create New. So I'm going to say, let's say, solocoder-resource. And again, this can be any name, okay? Doesn't need to be this name that I'm putting. Resource sec004. Just going to give that name. I'm going to confirm. And it becomes your resource group. You have to have this, otherwise it doesn't allow you to progress. Then we have database details. Database name, well, let's create first the product one, so let's call this products. And under server, we have to create a new server. Our database needs to be placed, needs to be set in a virtual server, okay? So I don't have anyone here, see? I'm going to click on Create New. Very important that you keep track of this information that you're going to be entering now. We're going to be creating our new server. So the server name needs to be unique. So you may have to try a few names there until you get one that is available. I'm just going to say solocoder-sec004. And that's OK. So I'm able to progress here. But I'm going to keep a note of this server name. I'm just going to open a text editor here, just to keep a name, keep track of this information that I'm creating here. So server is this one. Now, there is another part of the server as well that you're going to need, which is this part here underneath. I'm just going to copy this. This is the fully unique name of our server, okay? Whatever name you give, .database, .windows, .net. So that's a server name, because we create a new server. Now, we have to create an account to be the administrator of that server. So I'm just going to say coder-admin-sec004. Again, you can put the name you want. I think that's, I don't know if it has to be unique, but it will tell you. So my user is this one. And then come up with a password, a strong password. I'm just going to use something that I use in my browser to create passwords. So again, keep track of your passwords. And then location. Location is where the server or the virtual server should be located. Recommendation is make it as close to your users as possible. If majority of your users are from Canada, let's see if there's a Canadian data center there. There's one here, but I've tried this one. It says that it's not available for my subscription. Pick another Canadian one. There is a Canadian Central, Canada Central. There is also East US. That could be fine as well. It's the east side of the US. I'm going to select this one here. Okay, so server name we have, login we have, password we have. Now we just click OK, and it will create a server, a virtual server for us. Okay, so let's click OK. See here under server, it has created the server, and it has set the server of our database to this new one that we just created. Okay, just going to save this file here. Okay, so this is a kind of a wizard, so we can click next. The next screens here, I'm just going to go with defaults. So next, network, and I'm going to just leave it as is. Additional settings, I'm just going to leave it as is as well. Tags, I'm not going to add anything. Very last one is review and create. It shows here an estimated cost per month. Again, we are using a free trial, free account. You won't be charged for that unless, again, you keep this open, you keep using this, I don't know, afterwards, after 30 days. But now we are using our free trial. Okay, so this is just a summary, so you can review, and at the very bottom you can click on create. So let's click there. Any questions? Again, a lot of steps here, but kind of straightforward. But again, any question at this point? I know you're going to have, once you are trying to create this, you may get stuck there, but we're going to do that in the second half of our class today. So I'm going to just click on create. And now it takes a little bit of time. Almost everything that you do on Azure, like creating a new database, creating a new server, it takes a little bit of time to get it done. So it says your deployment is underway. So we have to wait a little bit here. If I go back to home, I can go to SQL databases, and see, nothing shows up yet. We have created, but nothing shows up yet. So give it a time, and it will show up. We can go to all resources and see what we have already. We don't have anything yet. Again, it's still being created. Okay, while this gets created, and again, we just went through the first database, let's start our second database. So I'm going to go back to database. I'm going to go to add again. Even though the first one is not showing yet, we can start our second one as well. So I'm going to add. And once again, subscription, free trial, resource group. Now we have the resource group that we created before, so we can select the same one. And under database details, we have server. Okay, so we just created a server, but it's not showing up yet. Okay, we have to wait. I don't want to create another server for the second database just because we could not wait a little bit here for the server to show up. So I'm going to keep refreshing this page here until I'm able to see in this drop down the server that we just created a step ago. Okay, so I'm just going to refresh this. Okay, so now we have it here. See, server is now showing up. We have the one that we created. And here's the resource, okay. And the name of our database, the second one will be identity. So let's just call it identity. And let's go through the wizard once again. Network and leave it as is. No changes here. Additional settings, no changes. Tags, no changes. Review and create. Scroll down, go to create. And now we wait again for the second database. Let's see if the first one is done. You see, the first one, now it's showing up. We just have to wait for the second one to show up as well, to be commissioned. Okay, so wait a little bit. Okay, let's see what the presentation says here. Okay, so as I said, be patient. It takes a while to show up. We are waiting. Okay, this is an important step. So while the second database shows up, let's do something under our new server. So let's go back to the home here. And now, under resources, now we see the database that we created, products, and we see our SQL Server our SQL Server. Okay, so we're gonna open our SQL Server, and we're gonna make a few adjustments to the firewall. Who can tell me what is a firewall? Anyone?
It's a wall on fire.
It's a wall of fire. That's great. It is. In the context of computers,
And it burns all the bugs trying to enter.
it burns all the bugs. That's a good one. Come on, firewall. No one? Come on. I know that aside being a wall in fire, we have some other opinions there. Come on, firewall. I mean, you may have seen this term before.
I couldn't tell you exactly what it is. I know it's a security thing.
Yeah. So it's a protection that sometimes you have in your own computers. We always have that on servers. Okay. So it's a way that you can block external entities from coming in to the server. So just because it's a virtual server, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have a firewall. So our new server has a firewall. Now, it's blocking any communication from the outside world to it. But we need to be able to communicate with our database because we need to create the tables. We need to create the data, okay? So for us to be able to run the scripts that will create the tables, we need to authorize our computers to come in to our new server, to log into our server. That's why we have to go to the firewall and say, hey, I want to be able to come in. I want to be able to let my workstation in the new server, in our case here, solocoder-sec004. I need to allow my workstation to come in because I need to run scripts that will create the tables for us, for both databases, okay? Now, how did I find? Yeah, I can go, there are two ways. One is, I'm gonna go back to the home, okay? So home, you can go to all resources, and under all resources, you can go to your server, see, type of resource, it says SQL database or SQL server. This is our server. I'm gonna go to this resource. By the way, this configuration applies to both databases because it's in a server level, okay? So I'm gonna go to the server, and in the server, I can go to show firewall settings, okay? Now, here's what we see. The first thing that we need to do is we need to turn this on here. So allow Azure services and resources to access this service. So what we are doing here is allowing our future application to access this database. So I have to turn this on. So make it on. Because again, we have to allow the other services that we're going to be using to be able to communicate with our database server. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, look at this. Client IP address. What is this here? Who can have a wild guess as to what is this IP address here? Yes, that's the IP address of my connection. Now, it's just saying this like for your information. Just let you know, hey, you know that this is your IP? You may want, and that's exactly what we want. You may want to add this as one of the exceptions in the firewall to allow this IP to come in, okay? So to do that, I can just say, I can click this add client IP. It will add to this rule here, or I can do it manually. I can say Centennial. This is just a rule name, just a name that will remind you, oh, this is the IP address at Centennial. Okay, so you can say that, and you can copy this. You can paste as a start IP. Make sure that you don't keep any spaces there in the IP. So when you do this, you are saying, okay, open this IP address. My range is just one IP. I'm just saying from this IP to this IP, just to open this IP for me, okay? Once this is done, I'll save it. And that's it. Now, we would be able to connect, but if you are using the wireless connection of Centennial, this will not work. Because the wireless connection does not allow communication with the port that is required by Azure. There's a port number that is required that the wireless connection in Centennial, the wireless network, won't allow that. So you will only be able to use this in the workstations, okay? So to do what we're going to do, for at least this step, you have to use the workstations of the college. Because again, wireless will not work. I'll tell you this. I've spoken with the IT people, and they are trying to look at ways to open that to the secure wireless connection. But for now, the only way is really to use the workstations, okay? If you have on your laptops, again, you will not be able to do this. This step, okay? The other steps, you can, but this particular one, you won't be able to, okay? Now, I also use the wireless one, but what I did yesterday is I connected to my cell phone. So I'm using the data plan of my cell phone to connect, and then I'm going to get another IP. So I'm going to do this now so I can get this IP so I can fully demonstrate this, because otherwise I would have to switch to to this station here. Okay? Any hackers here? Can I open my network here?
Hey, you can share the network.
Right.
Yeah.
And explode my data plan. Actually, it's only for this particular step here that we need it. Talking about hackers, yesterday, who knows what is escape room? Escape room? Anyone?
It's a game.
It's a game?
Escape room.
Yeah.
It's a game.
I went out, someone is building an escape room in the Durham region, but for hackers.
For hackers.
Yeah, so he showed me in an old fire station, 3 rooms. One room is a hacker's room, another one is a regular living room, another one is an office room, and each one, a team of 10 people would go and they would have a challenge to solve that hacking. I mean, you go to this room and then it's like a hacker takes over and you have to find the clues and find how to sort it out, you know. Very interesting. But again, it's been built now. And maybe some, because there's a security program here in Centennial that they might be using that room over there. Anyway, okay, so I should be connected now. If I refresh this, my IP should be changed there. Let's have a look. See, now I have another IP. So I'm just going to use the other way to add a client IP. See, it added a new line here. So I'm just going to call this cell phone. And I'm going to save it. Okay? So I'm doing this again because it's connecting through my cell phone. And again, you can only do this from your workstations, not from the wireless network here.
We can use our own cell phone.
You can. You can. Okay. So let's keep going here. So we did this to allow the migration scripts to run. We did open the firewall. Now, let's go to both our databases and get the connection string of both of them. Remember, the connection string is the address to the database. Now, our address will point to a database that is hosted on Azure. So let's go back to the interface there, to Azure's interface. We're going to need the connection string to each database. So let's think logically here. Let's go back to the home. Let's go to the SQL databases. And for each one, let's pick the connection string. How do we do that? We click on the database, and then we see here on the side, connection strings. We click the link. It shows the connection string. I'll copy that with the link in the corner. Remember, connection string is one single line, okay? There are no break lines in a connection string. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to add to my local file. So I'm going to say products. Just to make a reference here, I'm just going to say this is a product DB. And here's the connection string. Again, you see there are no break lines. Line breaks, actually. Now, one thing for you to notice is that we have the ID of the user that will be logged in, but the password is not set, okay? So we're going to have to replace this placeholder with the password that we set our admin user. Okay, so we're going to have to replace this with the correct password. That's one thing. The second thing that we're going to do in the connection string is you're going to change where it says multiple active result sets. This will avoid potential database deadlocks. Again, it's set by default to false. We should set it to true. Those are two things. Passwords in this multiple active result sets, we set it to true. Okay? Question?
Can we set the versus security information to true, or it's better for us to log in with that?
Sorry, didn't get that. So,
The versus security information.
oh, persistent, where do we see that here? Oh, here, persistence.
False. You said
To be quite honest, I'm not sure what this is, because we just put that once, and we don't need to keep putting that. I think that this might be something behind the scenes on the database connection. This is not for us to connect, but I think it's underneath the connection to be kept. Again, to be quite honest, I never explored this property here. I'm not sure. But I have been keeping this as false anytime that I use it. So the second one, we have the identity database. We're going to capture that information as well. Okay, so let's go back there to Azure. Let's go to SQL database again. The second database, identity. Let's go to the show database connection strings. We copy that one again. And now we have our second connection string. We need to make the same changes. We need to adjust the password, to set the password. Make sure that you don't keep the curly braces. Remove the curly braces as well. We save that. We set true to the multiple active result sets. And that's it. That's what we have now. We have our two connection strings. I have Padlet open here in case you have any questions. Again, you can ask me questions as we go along. Now, this is what we have so far. We have the server name, we have the username, the passwords, the database, the connection strings. We have pretty much everything we need to be able to finish our database, okay? Before we move on to the next step, let's have a 5 minutes break. And once we get back, we keep moving forwards. 5 minutes.
所以 project 看我都看不懂。
Okay, so let's keep going. So with all of that, with our database created, we are now in a position that we can connect to the database. Okay? So I'm gonna test that now. On Visual Studio, now I'm going to open the project. Again, using part 9 of chapter 12. So I can go to View, SQL Server Object Explorer. That's where we can see the databases. Okay. Now, by default, we only see our local database, okay? So those are local databases. What do I mean by local database? Databases that are running in my station, in my laptop, in your workstation, okay? But now we need to connect to a remote one. So you're gonna open a new connection. You're gonna right-click on SQL Server there and say, add SQL Server. This will add a new connection to another location. And it will ask you for the details of that location. Okay? So I'm going to add Okay, now I have to tell what here? I have to tell the address of that database. In the connection string, we have the server name, authentication, we're going to be using SQL Server authentication. So in the connection string, we have the server name, the username, and the password. We have all those three elements. So we're gonna get from there. And I also added here, but again, you can extract from either the connection string or if you have been saving, you can have it there. So the server, you can get it from the server element in the connection string. Don't add TCP, just add this part here inside. Okay? Look, this is the port number. The port number, as I said, this port number is open for the workstations, the wired connection instantaneous, but the wireless connection, this port number is blocked. That's the reason why it does not work with the wireless. Okay? Hopefully they will open this up. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this server name. Again, I have it here as well, so I can get it from there, copy and paste there. Let me just check if I'm still connected. Yes. So the username. Again, the user that we have created is the same user that is being used here for the user ID and the password, okay? So it's the same one here. And the password is there as well. And I'm gonna select remember password so I don't have to keep entering every time that I need to connect. Don't set a database because what this will do is it will show you all databases that are available in this server. So I'm not gonna set the database name, I'm just gonna click on connect. Okay, great. So we have a new entry there for a new server. Now I'm gonna expand. And again, remember, this is connecting to Azure, not local, so things will take a little bit of time here. So let's expand databases. So now we have identity and products. Products is the second one, the first one. Identity was the product was the first one. Identity was the second one. So we have both databases there. Now, what would you say that is next step here? Populate with what?
With the data.
Before that, we're not ready yet to put data. Why? Connection string is okay, but we don't have what yet? We don't have the tables yet. We didn't create tables yet. So let's have a look here. See? Look at products. Tables. Again, this takes a while to load the tables. So let's just wait. So product is done. Now tables. Okay, no tables. Okay, same thing with identity. There are no tables here. Okay, so now we have to run what? We have to run. Remember that we have two command lines. The first one does what? Yeah, the first one creates the migration scripts. The second one does what? Runs the migration scripts, which create the tables. Okay. Now, we need to create the tables now, but we have not placed what in our solution here? What is missing in our solution at this point in time? See, one thing is that this is a remote server, that's fine. That doesn't have a connection yet to our project. How do we make that connection? Via what? Via the connection string. So we have to set both connection strings where in our project? Where? App settings. We have set in our app settings. Now, here's the thing. Let's not get rid of the one that we have there, because what we have there works well for testing, okay? Let's create another app settings, but for production, for the live sites, okay? So let's create a file called appsettings.production.json. This file will be similar to our first app settings, but the connection string will be different, okay? Okay. So let's go there. Right-click on project name. Go to Add, New Item. Go to Web, ASP.NET, and look for app settings file. Rename it and set it exactly like that. The name that you're going to be adding here is very important. So it's dot production. Again, very important because everything will go back to this name here, production. Okay? So appsettings.production.json. Let's hit add. We have a new file. What I'm going to do is, because I want to keep the same structure as the original app settings, I'm going to go to app settings. I'm going to select all. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste on top of our new file. I'm going to get rid and paste it there. But now, I'm going to change the connection string for each one. So for product, this is the one. Remember, don't break the line. This is one single line that I'm breaking here to make it, visually that you can see it better. And I'm going to replace the connection string. Again, very, very easy to mess this up. If you are having a problem with your deployments, first thing that you need to check is, do I have the right information? Is everything spelled out properly? Is the username correct? Is the password correct? Okay? So I'm going to paste there. So that's the first one. That's the products. And then we have the identity one. So I'm going to copy there. I'm going to paste it here. Great. Okay. So now we have both files. Now what? Now we have to run the migration scripts against the Azure databases. Okay? So how do we do that? Well, now we have two different files. So we're going to be using the package manager console to do that. Now, if I try to run the update database context the way it is right now, it will update my local database, not my remote one. But I need the remote one, okay? So what we need to do is, we need to use something called an environment variable. There's an environment variable in ASP.NET called ASP.NET Core environment. This command, you're going to be setting, you're going to be using the package manager to read the value of this variable. See, I just put this command, and let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. So I just put this command here. When I hit enter, this command, it reads the value of this variable, and it prints out. But right now, it's empty. There is no value here. So that's the reason why when I call it, it doesn't, and I hit enter, it doesn't show anything because it's empty. Because it's empty, it uses app settings.json. I'm going to set it to production. By setting it to production, when I run the application, when I run this command, it will be using app settings.production. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to call the command now, but we're going to set the variables. By setting it, we have to do equals to, open single quotes, actually double quotes, production. Again, spelling has to be precise here. Lowercase, uppercase, it doesn't matter, but the spelling needs to be the same as the one here in the app settings, okay? So now I'm setting the variable. Now if I try to read it again, it will show production. So now the in-memory variable called ASP.NET Core, it's set to production. So when we run the update database context, it will run in the second app settings, not in the first one. Does it make sense? Again, we are just trying with this variable here. We're just trying to make sure that when we run the update scripts, that it will run on the second app settings, not the first one. That's why we set this environment variable to production, because internally, package manager used this as a reference point. It used this environment variable. Environment variable it's just that it's a variable that sticks around on Windows that you can set.
How can I use this variable?
How can I use? You don't use that. Package manager is the one using that. It uses that by default. Not by default. It used that already. We are just not aware of that. Now we can manipulate how package manager will see that by setting its value. So by setting it to production, when we run this command here, package manager will figure out, oh, is there a value in this variable? Yes, production. Okay, so give me the app settings.production. Right now, because it was empty, it was going to this one here. But when we set and it will match this name. See, production here with production here. That's a way that you can keep different files for different environments. Maybe you have a development environment. Maybe you have a user acceptance environment. Maybe you have, of course, a live environment. So you can keep multiple files, multiple setting files. Instead of removing and updating, you can keep as many files as you want, as many settings as you want. Okay? Let's give this a try. Let's try to run this. So we have sets, and again, without the equal, package manager will just read the value. So if I hit enter, it's just reading, just telling, oh, okay, the value of this is production right now. Okay. Now, when I do this, I'm gonna run the first one here. With all that we have done so far, what will this command do? What will happen after I run this? After I run this guy here. Come on, what will happen? What will happen when I run this command?
It's going to create all the tables,
Of which database?
the product.
The product database, yes. So it will create all the tables from the product database. And the second one will create all the tables for the identity database. So I'm going to copy this one here. I'm going to paste it there. I'm going to hit enter. And we're going to wait because now it will be creating the tables in Azure. Actually, it's not that slow. It's quite okay. You know? So now, if I refresh the products database here from Azure, this is the Azure one, products. Let me try to refresh this. The tables. Now we have the tables. Okay? Now the tables are there. Now, again, this is not local. This is on Azure. This is the type of thing that you cannot do in your laptops, okay? Because, again, the wireless will not work. Okay, so we did this for the first one. We do the same for the second one. We run the same commands for the second one. And now, if I refresh identity, the tables, I should be able to see all the user roles, all those tables there. See? All there. All of them there. Now what? What is that? Populate. How do we populate? We just do what to populate?
Run the program.
Run the program. Not yet. Not yet. There is one extra step. But wait, there's more. There's one more step. So what we did here for the environment is just applicable to package manager. Okay? We have to do something similar to our application as well. In our application, I'm talking about the production. I'm talking about the fact that we're going to use this one, not this one here. So what we did here is just for the script to update the database. But now we need to do something similar to apply to our application so that when we run, we don't read this one, we read the second one. By we, I mean the application when it runs, okay? Because right now, if I run this, I'll be running against my local database, not my remote yet. I'll just prove you that. Okay, so I'm going to do a minor modification here to one of the product names. I'm just going to say,
If you show the login failed per user,
yeah. Are you using the new source that I provided, or which source are you using? Source code?
the source code? No, I didn't run. I'm trying to create.
Oh, login for Azure?
Yes.
Okay. So are you using your workstation?
No, I use my phone.
So you connected to your data?
Yes.
Okay, so check the details because there might be something a little bit off there.
Where in the JSON file?
Yes. Maybe it's the password that is wrong, maybe the username is wrong, maybe there's something is wrong there. If you are getting the correct information, there's a minor place there that might be wrong there. We're going to have some time, and if you're still stuck there, I'll give you a hint, okay? Okay, so let's just see this. If I do a minor change here. I'm going to say local, kayak local. Let's see which database it's using. So let's look at our local database. See, kayak local. So it's using, when I run, the way it is right now, it still uses my local database. I don't want that. So what do I do? Very simple. Once you know it, it's very simple. Usually, after you know stuff, it becomes simple. Just a setting. Go to the properties of the project. Right-click, go to properties, go to debug, and then you change, actually the same name as we have used before, this variable here, environment variable. You change from development to production. So you're going to put production here. With that change, save it. And now, if you run, yeah, let's run it. Because now it will populate and it will show the data, but the data now is coming from Azure. See, kayak no longer has the local there. So I'm just going to log into the backend. I'm going to make a minor modification. I'm going to say Azure. I'm going to save this. Okay, so the change has been done. Now if I check the database, I'm going to check local first. So let's view the data of products. See, it still shows local, but let's do the same with the one in Azure. Let's have a look at products. Again, it takes a little bit of time because it's coming remotely, but let's see. Username that you just changed, kayak Azure. So now the database is there, the data is there. What is not there? What is missing? What are we missing here? What's next? What is that? Identity is already there. I just logged in, so it's all the data is there. To roast the application, to deploy the application. Our application is not deployed there. When I run now, it's running from my local system, okay? So I need to get a URL. The goal of this whole thing is to have it fully running from Azure. So we have the data, we have the database, but we don't have the application yet. So let's take care of that now. Now, for this part that I'm gonna show, you don't need to, wireless will work for you, okay? Because this is not SQL, this is just deployment. So this does not require to be in the workstation. But here it is. Just follow here. So we have seen that, we have changed that, we have saved, we have run, we have created and populated the database. Now we need to publish. So we're going to be publishing the application, okay? So to publish the application, first make sure that it's compiling. So go to build, rebuild the solution, see if there are any errors, and again, I didn't change anything, so it's all good. Now, right-click the project, go to publish. So again, right-click and go to publish, okay? From there, because this is the first time that we publish, we're going to have to create our application. The next time that we make a change and we publish again, it will be much faster. But this time, we need to create the application initially. So Azure App Service, we have to create a new one. Keep it there, select it as create a new, and click publish. It will ask you to log in with the account that you have created or the account that you have already. I have already set up this account, my account here, so it's not asking me to log in. But again, if it's the first time that you do this, it will ask you to log in with the accounts that you have created or set up and linked to Azure, okay? Now, app name. You may want to change that. It's up to you. But that will be in the URL, in the final URL, that will be there as well. So I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. Again, it has to be unique. So as you type, it will keep checking. Is it unique, yes or no? You have a reference point there. I'm going to just say sec004, should be okay. And then I can select free trial. It's already pre-selected for me. Resource group. I will select the resource group that I have created for this class. Again, you're just going to have one resource group. Select that one. Hosting plan. Keep what they have added here for you. That's fine. Just keep it as is. And hit create. When you hit create, it will create the application on Azure, and it will deploy your application to Azure as well. And in the end, it will give you a URL that you can hopefully access your sites from anywhere. Okay? So I'm just going to hit create now. Again, the only thing that I changed here was the app name to, I made it shorter. You may want to do something similar. And I kept the hosting plan, the name that it has given to me, and I selected the resource. Okay? Don't create a new one. Use the same resource that you have created before. Click create, and let's wait. It takes a little bit, because again, the files are being sent. Not only it's creating the new application, but the files will be sent to Azure, your files, your whole project. Questions while we wait? Should be part of the project as well, isn't it? Put it live. Next time, next semester. Not going to change anything right now. But it's good to have the project live. I mean, it's in your own best interest to have it live. And hey, here's what I did. No. I would recommend that you put it live. Well, as you can see, this is a step that takes most time. And again, this is just for the first time, because what it does, it waits for this new application to be created as well. And that's just done, again, in the first time. This next time, the deployment is much, much faster if you make a change later.
That's a lot of application.
What is that?
That's a lot of application, right? It's like 5 megabytes or something.
Yeah, but it's not this step right now. It's taking time, not because of the amount of file that needs to be transferred, but it's really because the application, as we saw, when you create a database, you have to wait for the database to show up. This application is also waiting for that app to be commissioned there on Azure. That's why the first one takes a little bit of time because of that. And I should have thought this a little bit better, and I should have disconnected my phone already, because this step could have been done via the network. It doesn't need to be via my cell phone. Okay, so let's make good use of this time. I'll take a quick attendance here while we wait for that. Okay, Akil, Ashlyn, Sean Lee, Don Lee, Duck Tank. Okay, that's great. Anyway, we'll try again. Let me finish this here. Hershel, Aaron, Irvin, Jane, Pluto, Jordan, Junyang Lee, Junyang, Kengo Jiang, Kool-Aid, Li Peng, Matthew, Milan Preet, Minyang Lee, Sergio, Zidane, Simon, Tanai, Tanvi, Tiago, 2 and 1, Chu Ting Yu, Wei Yang Chen, Yan Hao Fan, Ipam, Yon Siop Lee. Okay, so I'm going to try this again, but now I'm going to disconnect from my cell phone. So I'm going to go, okay. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to try again here, see how it goes. Okay, so it's saying that the name is already taken because it was able to create the app already. So I'm going to try something here. I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to save. And I'm going to try to republish here. Yeah, so it's starting again. That's okay. So I'm gonna, sec004. Yeah, okay, so what happened, most likely it created the app, but it didn't finish the whole deployment, so I'm just gonna say 01 here. I'm gonna keep the rest as is. I'm gonna create again. Let's see if this time around, if it will work. Again, very common to when working with Azure for things not to go as planned the first time around. So you try again. Let's have a look what is happening on Azure. We should be able to see on our resources. See, the app me see here. See the app that was created, the app plan that was created. App services. Let's see. Was anyone able to finish the deployment? Anyone? You did? You did? You got the URL?
Yeah, I got the URL.
Got it. So submit that on Padlet. And if I were you, I would also already post it on the bonus, on the bonus 10. Bonus 10, because that's what bonus 10 is asking about. Okay, so we're getting through here. What is that?
You want the URL?
Yes, on the bonus 10. Bonus 10, by the way, is just the URL for the deployment of this application. I want to see if you are able to deploy it. But again, we're going to have time. We're going to do that in the second part of the class today. So it's progressing here. See, it's doing the deployment. It's just showing, and now it loads the site automatically. So let's see. Again, errors may happen here at this point as well. If it happens, we just have to try to redeploy. It did. So now we have a final URL running live, not running from our local system. As you see, the data is that one that I made the modification here. So it's live. It's alive. We did this, we did this, we did this. Oh, the last screen. So if you go back to Visual Studio, you're going to see a summary at the end, and you're going to see this site URL. This is your final URL. Okay, so you can just copy there, and now you can give that to anyone out there. Okay. It's just that. As simple as that. Okay? How about now we give it a try? So let me see if there is anything else here. So yeah, so we are in business, we are live. Great, so I would ask you to do the same thing. Now, as you stumble through roadblocks, I'm here to help you out and get each one of you to deploy live your masterpiece. Well, not your masterpiece is your project, but our application here. So download this one, deploy to Azure, paste the URL as your bonus 10 to eCentennial, and share it on Padlet. Now, the first 4 people that shares on Padlet, I have a token, I have a gift. I have a magazine, a coding magazine. I know that you are all anxious about reading, about coding. You don't have enough of coding already, but I have a coding magazine here. Yeah, this magazine is a very good magazine. It's a .NET focus. It's Microsoft focus. Look, it's talking about Entity Framework, ASP.NET Core, machine learning, C#8. I have 4 magazines. The first 4 to post, working URLs, of course, will get one magazine. The JSON? Okay, Matthew, let's see, just 1 second. Let's see if we have the first winner here. Woohoo!
Yours actually failed because of me. I put the same.
I was wondering if someone got the same URL. Yeah. Yes. Okay, now we know. You know. So again, give it a try. Let's do this. If you need a break, go for a break. Again, but now we have 2 exercises. The second one is not worth bonus. I mean, the bonus is for this one. The second one, well, forget about this for a second. Exercise 2 is a little bit down the road. You can download this PDF, okay, on Centennial. You can do the same thing with the patient system. Deploy to Azure, secure the patient system, and convert it to database. Again, you have plenty to practice here. Now, if you also want to use part of the second half as a way to work on your assignment 3, on your project, you can do that as well. I'll leave it up to you. I'm here to assist. If you're deploying to Azure, if you're working with your assignment 3, if you're working with your project, I'm here to assist. I'm here to help. Okay, we have another one here. A queue. Let's see, one. Awesome. So is that, I'm just checking the URL, just to make sure. Awesome. Okay, great. Okay. Q, is that Q? Again, don't forget to post on Centennial, okay? Under bonus 10. Sergio, you were stuck there?
I checked the JSON file. It's the same. I just copied from the internet.
Okay, so login failed for user. Sergio. Okay. So okay, so Sergio. I'll try to. Let's go back to Azure.
Here?
Yes, let's go here to home. Go to your SQL server and reset password. Just to make sure, because there is something wrong there, or maybe it's with. Let's see the username. Click outside. So, is the spelling all good?
Yeah,
it's the same.
It's correct. The same.
Okay, so set the password. Reset the password. It might be the password.
Can I put the same or do I have to change?
I'm not sure, but maybe try the same. Do a copy and paste just to make sure, just to guarantee. So you're using your data, is that? Your data, your phone connection?
Yeah, my
Yep.
phone.
Okay. Okay, so
Done.
okay, great. So let's try that. So where you're stuck with the update, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So let's just have a look. Scroll down. Just see the files there. Settings, production. Did you set the environment
Yeah.
variable already? Okay.
The
So
beginning.
okay. So give it a try. Okay. Okay. There's something funky here. So
What is this login? You check
login,
this?
yeah. Because it's creating the database. To create the database, it needs to log in. To log in, it needs to get this user ID
And password.
and the password. So this is correct.
Yes.
You can guarantee
Yes.
that this is correct.
Yes. I can copy again, but it's the same.
Because
Let's
it,
go there. And
okay, let's have a look at go reset password once again. Copy that password.
e-sec login.
Okay, your password cannot contain all or parts of the login name. So the password is not a match.
Okay. But the another one it was working. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see this one.
Okay. Save it. And then
Code. Here.
so change it there. Okay. Okay, save it. Give it a try.
Done. Oh my. He's saying login, not password.
Well, login means that your attempt to log in. It's not saying that it's the user. Yes, your attempt to log in. Okay, 1 second. Let me check. Ipan. It's here. This is working. Come on. Awesome. Okay. Good. So. Okay. So. Okay, you cannot.
There is a transient value.
Yeah, make sure that, are you doing a direct copy and paste?
Yeah.
Make sure copy and paste from PDF, it's a bit funky, okay? So better you paste that first to a text editor. Open notepad or something.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
I copied it straight from that and it worked for me.
Yeah.
Sometime, okay. Show me, okay, so open notepad. Open notepad. Okay, paste it there. Okay.
Is it space here or no, right?
No, it's dash. Okay, okay, that's fine. So it seems to be okay. Give it a try there. Did you set the variable, the ambient variable, did you set to production?
Oh, that's first?
Yeah, because otherwise it does know that you are using the second settings.
Because I was just following this.
Okay, so keep going, keep
Okay.
going, keep going. It's
Yeah, 'cause this was.
no, but
on-
keep before. No. It's not here. It is. You set this
Yeah, I
first.
did. Yeah.
Okay, so great. So paste it there. Go for it.
Yeah, production.
Perfect. Production.
Yeah.
Okay, give it a try. It's taking too much time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Due to a transient value.
okay, maximize this. I would like to have a look at,
Did you change the X?
go to your app settings here.
No, I didn't change anything on those. Yeah, just going through, I clicked everything, I left everything in between.
Yeah, that's great.
All it is print.
Are you sure that username is correct, password is correct? Are you sure about that, 100%? Next step should be raised, like due to transient failure. Consider enabling transient euro resilience by adding. So this is the source code that you got from.
Wait, we can create the databases using the wireless, but we can't access them through the firewall. That's
You can, when you put in the browser, it's just a website. It's just like a regular website. You cannot, in the browser, again, like I'm doing right now.
to create the databases.
Yeah.
the products and identity.
Yeah.
I can do it through the college Wi-Fi. What I can't do is access it through the firewall.
To create it.
I
Okay.
can create using the Wi-Fi, but I can access it through the Wi-Fi because of the firewall.
You cannot create via the Wi-Fi. I'm not sure if you can access from your local code, okay? When you deploy, it's all good. After you deploy, it's all good. But if you run
Oh, okay.
on your,
Create it.
okay,
You created?
okay, that's strange. True. Except you didn't raise, yeah. Transit through. You can open Azure here. Your account, your Azure account, you can open here.
Yeah.
Make it, maybe it will make things easier for you, but yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'll double check. You have the database create, identity, products. You have both of them created, correct?
Yeah.
And you are running the date context. Try to, did you run the first one, the first update already? Go back to the product, or is that the first update that you run?
No, I did the when I just up.
Did you do,
Turned it up, I did the context DB update.
okay, this one, you are doing for product or for identity? Which one? Which
for
one?
The I
The identity. Did you do for the product already?
yes, I tried.
Did it work, or same error?
Same error. Yes.
Have a look. Have a look at the connection string again, because you didn't change anything in the code.
No.
So the only thing that can be wrong is the app settings.
Yeah.
Is the app settings. That's the only thing that can be wrong.
Highly likely, but I don't see any.
Again, try again. That's the only thing that you can do. Go to the databases, get the connection string again. The connection string.
Yes, that was the identity. Oh, it got longer.
Longer.
Oh,
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Be careful with the true and false. Okay.
yeah.
Make sure that you make it.
Which one?
It's the.
The results needs to be true, and then your password.
Oh, the problem is, I mean, the reason why it's different size is because of the password. You have to make sure that you put the password. Any luck around here? I have a friend that did already everything. I mean, maybe he can help you out. Akil, come on, Akil, share the love. Share the love. Don't be shy.
Get to the firewall setting.
How to the firewall settings? Go to our resources, and then we go to the server. So go to the server, Ajax boy there, and then go to show firewall settings. That's the one. Okay. Yep. 1 second. In the firewall, did you set everything okay in the firewall?
Yeah, that one.
Did you make it on? I mean, did you all good there?
Yeah, that one I did.
Okay.
I downloaded it a couple of times, but it's not.
Okay, so click OK there. How about we don't try to double click? Open Visual Studio first.
Open? Oh, yeah, I tried that one.
You got the last one? No, but I want you to get it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want him, I want you.
Yeah, I will do it.
No, you will only leave tonight once you get that.
We
I'm
still have
telling you.
time. Yeah, we still have time.
Yes, we still have time. Okay, let's go from here. Come on, the ones that did already, share the love, share the love. Okay, click OK. Let's try something here, because some workstations we never know. Some, they may not be working. Go here, File, Close Solution. Go to File again, New, Project.
How many days do we have? 30?
Yeah,
Don't
30
forget.
minutes.
No. To pay.
Oh, 30 days, yes,
30
yes,
days.
yes. Scroll down. Get the ASP.NET, I think it's the, yeah, core, yes. And then click OK, just OK.
No, don't need it.
And configure, uncheck there. OK, let's click OK.
Yes. It's not
Let's have a look at the Explorer. So View, Solution, Explorer. See, it has a problem. See, whenever you create a new project and it shows 0 projects like this, it's because this workstation has a problem. Okay? So the first thing that you should try is always try to create a new one. That's what I've been recommending to everybody.
Whatever I did here is
No, it's not. This is online. You just have to access it from the other computer.
here also.
What is that?
I can do it with my computer as well, right?
Wireless doesn't work.
I can connect the.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I never tried that, to be honest. Okay, anybody else there? Okay, we have Sergio. Is that the last one, Sergio? Let's see. You put the time. Just actually, I've ordered by time though. And now we have the last one. Woohoo. This is November 2018.
Okay.
No, 2019, I'm joking. 2019.
Look, I tried.
So it worked?
No, I have to contact the support team to remove.
No, you don't. I'm not saying that you can remove the credit card. You leave it there, but I mean, they're not going to charge you if you don't have anything. Just what I'm saying is that delete the service that you have added. The credit card you won't be able. I don't think that you'll be able to delete, but they're not steal from you.
Just come here in home.
Start deleting them. Just go delete one by one.
SQL Server and database.
Yeah.
This thing here.
Yeah, just click on them. There's a delete option. You're just gonna go deleting them.
If they
Okay.
Just delete the services.
Okay.
Because if there's no service, there's nothing to be charged against. Okay?
But I have a question. After the 30 days, if we use it,
Have to pay.
Yeah, I mean, but again,
but
unless
for 1 hour,
unless someone, I don't know, hack your virtual machine or something like that. Otherwise, the users will be so minor that you're gonna have cents being charged to you. I do some stuff with Amazon, and they charge me $2 a month for $1.50 a month. So again, unless
Amazon had to create the same.
there is a very very similar one there.
But it's easy to connect with.
Not I don't think that it's as easy as, well, if you call this easy, I don't think it's this easy, you know.
a lot of
Actually, this is easy. Let me tell you, this is easy.
Because
Once you do the first time,
Just call.
yes, once you do the first time, now you have the video as a reference point. You can always watch this back and you'll be able to do it again. Again, if you want to have a 10 minutes break, by all means, go for 10 minutes. It's all good. We are in halfway through our day today, our night today. But you're just going to leave today once I see everybody with their application live. So, how's it going?
No, it's good.
It's good? What happened?
I don't know. I don't really.
Oh, I know.
It's,
I know. I know.
Yeah. Just the string stuff then.
So again, if you're not challenged, keep going. Again, you can either work on your assignment, work on your project, or keep going with exercise 2. Okay? Lots of options here.